is going to run today on the live. Looks like it might work. It is so strange. And I thought maybe it was my phone because it being overloaded with a lot of stuff on it, and I've been taking some off and putting it on my external drives on my computer. Um, and it helped the speed of my phone a little bit, but trying to go live is tough. It's like when it feels like letting you. But anyway, so I got this new job. The manager, who I thought might have been the owner because he was quite stern and professional, and but he's not. He's just manager, and he seems okay. Just strictly business, and promised me nothing less than like 39 hours a week, and the crew is 99% black, if that makes a difference. And I love everybody, so I know some of the people there from other places, and that and seem like they're very nice, and I try to be nice and cheerful and fast and all that, but I just feel like I'm being pooped, man. First of all, I feel like my voice is so hoarse from talking at work. I feel like somebody threw me the keys to a hamburger joint and said, "Here, run it." I am not fast food at all. I did it one time for maybe a week for Pat Robertson at his Sonics out by Memphis, kind of for entertainment purposes only. It was he wanted me to do some advertising design for him, some billboards, and then a side job for his church to do some graphics for the church and that. And I said, well, I would really like to get a feel for the business, and that would help me better design some things, and come up with some ideas or slogans or whatever, to see where their heart is, Uh, and so I worked, I guess, about a week or less, and tried some different things. Like I worked on the grill one day. Um, uh, I don't even know if I worked the speaker board at all. I can't remember that, but watched it. They showed me, Pat showed me how he does it, timer on there, and it's really interesting. And then if you ever get a chance to eat the onion rings at Sonic, they make them from scratch, at least at Pat's store, and they dip them like 3 or 4 times for butter before they even get cooked, and they're laid on trays, and big giant trays. Really impressive. It's no wonder they're so good because they put so much work into them. And I was very impressed with the quality of Sonic food. And Pat was very proud of his Sonic. He had two in the area that I knew of, and he claimed the other one was like his brother's or something. And then upon his passing, not long ago here, there was a statement made that he owned 200 Sonics across the United States. Now, I don't know about all that, but now Pat was not a brag too much. He's pretty, down to earth, but, he spoke highly of his own business, because we would sit and talk, and he would explain to me, what the utilities run for one operation, what his costs are, that it's just not cheap. And they have to really have a huge sell-through rate. But in order to get people back, it had to be superior quality. So he was a stickler. And he worked right in the business. He didn't just run out and telling people what to do. He worked the business. He would go up and he'd work that window with a speakerphone. And he would watch, everybody cooking. And he just was a stickler. If there was anything missing or something that someone didn't understand, he was right there. No matter how many times he had to explain it, he was very nice, very to the point, no games. Just a real professional, nice guy. And this guy's super Christian, okay? Very religious, very much with the church. He even played DJ at the church things that they did. Just a really, really nice guy. And his wife was charming. His son was son, Pat Jr. Um, has the Sonic now out there by Memphis, and he has a brand new built one that is, just a couple blocks from the original one that Pat had. And amazing, just amazing family. I knew his son when his son was about 14 years old. Really nice boy, and he's all grown up now. It's just amazing. I just saw him a few years back when I was coming through from Grapevine, Texas, from a job I had to go work for over a month out there, which was supposed to be a couple days. It ended up being like a month, and we were lucky to escape. Um, but anyway, that's about all the experience I've got in fast food. I mean, I just know the basics of, an operation of what the costs are and different things and how speed is a factor. You know, and quality is, topmost thing and stuff. And anyway, so that's about all I know. I mean, my background, when I left home, I had fake ID and I worked a ton of food and beverage, from working, fine dining, dinner houses, country clubs. I worked the airport, bartender. I did banquet bartending for the big hotels. I'm talking about tuxedo service, stuff like that. Country clubs, doing banquets or banquet bartending, and weddings and stuff like that. Um, all fine dining, linen tablecloth dining, okay, where we have chefs and all that kind of thing. And you have to be very proper, and you have so many courses to a meal, and you serve your before dinner drinks and your bottle of wine for dinner, and then your after dinner drinks, and then your desserts, so forth, so on. Very proper, very formal. And so I was very lucky to have people take the time to teach me these things when I would get a new job. And it's really important to know how to work a job, whether you have experience or not. Someone needs to teach you, or they need to have videos, something, because every house is different. It's just like if you work grocery stores, every grocery store is going to be different. They're going to have a different system for their checkout. They're not all alike. You may think they are, but they're not. Everybody's stuff's a little bit different. Or you just walk right in there and just start punching buttons and be just ringing people up. It's not going to happen that way. You have to have stuff pointed out to you, told to you, this is it, this is da-da-da, da-da-da, this is how we do this, blah, 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 blah. So it's same thing in food and beverage. Everybody's going to have a different menu. Everybody wants a different process of how they want their customers served. Every house is a little different. The biggest thing to know is just keep that table clean. Don't leave dirty dishes on the table. Keep your eyes open and watch your floor. If you see a customer kind of look up, look around confused, it's because they want something. And you sure want to get over there before they start waving their arms or yelling or snapping their fingers like they think they're in France. You want to get over there and see if there's something that they need. I mean, you're waiting on these people hand and foot. That's the whole idea. You're a slave to these people. You want that money, you want that tip. You got to really kiss some booty, okay? And it will make you money, and you got to be real classy about it. But do pay attention to the customers. So it's an entirely different ball game from fine dining linen tablecloth in an expensive fine house that cooks everything from scratch versus doing fast which I don't know. I guess most of it's pre-cooked. Um, I mean, I didn't see a lot of microwavy type stuff really, but it's strange. But the biggest problem is they don't teach you anything. What is what? There's not labels on stuff. I'm used to working in dinner houses. Even I worked back house a few times, and you know, everything in the coolers is going to be either transferred to a new container, and it will have, you know, big labels on the outside of what it is, you know, and it'll have a date, and then it'll be stacked up nice and neat, okay, and clean, and nothing dripping on anything or anything where nothing goes bad. Everything clean, fresh, rotated. Um, this place is like, you know, everything's in boxes. You know, like they had me pull out meat. They have cases of meat and they're big, long plastic baggies of probably like 10 hamburger patties to a stack with probably like 8 or 10 stacks long, long ways. And it's in a clear plastic bag thing. And so, you know, and they have two different kinds. A guy showed me the other night. He said, here's the red one and here's the black one. And so I don't know what the red one is. I don't know what the black one is, but they told me it's two different kinds because they wanted me to load this little cooler out that's on the floor in the back house that's next to the grill where they cook the hamburgers on the grill. And there's like a little miniature refrigerator in there. And so you go, you know, load this stuff up. And you say, well, what side do you want the red on? Or what side do you want the black? It's like, it makes no difference. And it's like, okay, so you bring about 6 bags of each out there, you know, stack them in there. And you got to count them like one at a time because sometimes they open one. The bad part was, you know, I pulled a couple bags out of a box and one bag was just black. The blood was black in there. And the other bag, that it looked bright orange red, which where I come from in food and beverage, if something looks like that, it's probably not any good. But maybe it's being left out in the warm or something because I don't think you should be serving meat that's in some black stuff, which looks like old blood. So I asked when I pulled a couple out and I said, is this one okay? Because it's darker than this other one, the juice in it's darker. Oh yeah, it's fine, just stick it in there. So I do. And I'm like, well, do you prefer one side to the other, or put the red box stuff here and then like the black box on one side, or no, I'll just stick it there. Okay. And so, and I knew what the meat boxes looked like because the other day somebody showed me and opened them with me in the cooler and said, here, these are what we need up front. If you can load these up for us. Sure. And so, but nobody's ever walked me through the little coolers, the one in-house and the one outside, to say, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. So I don't know what anything is, okay? They have some breaded stuff that goes in sandwiches, and I don't know what is what. I don't know what chicken is. I don't know what the fish is. I don't have a clue. You know, and they yelled at me today, get a fish and put in that fryer. And I was over at the grill. I was working the grill. I said, okay. Turn around. A big refrigerator thing is next to me. There's a big tall refrigerator that has like chicken nuggets. And then they're separated. So one side is plain and one side is hot on a shelf. And then they've got another shelf that's for like fries. And so, you know, you can tell what that is. It's not labeled on the bags that I recall in any way. But, I mean, you just kind of feel the bag and it feels like fries. Okay, it's a paper bag. And so, you know, that's what you do. And so, anyway, I was told, get a piece of fish, throw it in that fryer. Okay, so I go open the refrigerator door and I said, well, which one is fish? And they're like, it's there. Oh no, it's in the wrong shelf. It's that. It's there. Okay. No label on the container. It was put in a plastic container. No label on it or nothing. And I went, okay, I mean, this is it. And they reached in, grabbed it, handed it to me. And then I went over and put it in the fryer. And the fryer is automated. You just push the button for whatever it is. If it's, fries or if it's fish, you push the button and then it sets its own timer. It's an automated fryer thing. And then an alarm goes off when it's finished. Well, for some reason, one side of this fryer, I didn't recall it being like this. I've been there like a week. And the one side's not sounding off. And so stuff is getting burned. And it ends up being thrown away. So you think they would fix that, or people would figure out that, like, if I have to be over there to cook something, I move it to the right side, for the side that has the alarm and it works, so that I know what it is, when it is, and when it's done. Because the last few days that I've worked, the alarms don't go off on the other side, so I don't use them. And so we don't like fry all the time, so it's not like it's real busy and loaded down. But anyway, so it was like I was talked to like I was stupid because I wouldn't get the fish. Well, I didn't know what fish looks like. I didn't know where they put it. I mean, if they would have pointed this stuff out and told me, it would be nice, because I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Nobody shows you around. Nobody explains stuff to you. And then they have you kind of bebop. They'll say, okay, you're going to do like this hot bar. And then they'll turn around and say, oh, go over there and help her on the grill. And you go, okay. And then you walk over there waiting to find out what they want you to do. And then, they're like, oh, go over and make the drinks for the girl to go. Okay. And so you're trying to make the drinks and you don't know which cups are which. The labels on the cups are so small. I mean, they're like, a 1/4 inch big. And they have like, 15 different cups. And so it's really hard to know what cup is for what. And they should actually have it labeled where the cup is held. You know what I mean? So that, anybody can see it in fast motion. This is for the shake things, and this is for the soda pops, and this is the sizes we use for this. They should have it like labeled so you could just like go in there and work it. But no. And so it's really confusing, and nobody tells you what is the proper size. They have, electronic boards that are up in the air for every station, and you don't have a clue what it is because nobody explains it to you of how to read it and how to tell what is what, and they don't take it off the board when it's expired. And so it's really confusing. If they say go work over there, at the bar for the fryer, well, you're seeing 6 orders up there, and so you're instantly, gathering stuff up, a small this, a large this, a medium this, and putting it to the side in the hot box. And then they come over and go, well, all these are done. And then they click all those off, and it's because you don't know. And if you ask them, are any of these done? They're just standing around yip-yapping, joking around, or playing on their phones, or they walk away. A couple times they left me totally alone in the kitchen. And orders were coming through. We get DOORDASH orders. We get all kinds of other orders, Grubhub and stuff. And the stuff flies through the cash register instantly all by itself. It's like getting a fax on a fax machine. It's like, boop. And this stuff needs to be done quickly so that when the driver is notified to pick the order up, that it's going to be ready. Okay? It's really confusing. So, they apparently have like U-learns, like they have at some other businesses where you take these video classes and you get credit for that so that you can learn it. It's like a lecture on how to do it, like somebody was showing you to do it. Look at this storm. Oh my God. And the storm is so loud. And so that can be really helpful. And I like to take notes during those so that I can review it later or understand it later too. And that way I don't have to go watch the video again. But only the last couple of days they've had me do some video stuff, and it's not much. And the bad part is, like, they'll have me do like a cash register video, but then they'll throw me in, like, in the kitchen to cook. Instead of having me do like a cooking videos and then go in the kitchen to cook, they don't do that. I have no cooking videos at all. And then they'll yell at you and go, "Well, you watch the videos," and it's like, no, the ones you assigned me were for cash register. But I can go back and watch some videos if you'll show me which ones I need to watch, because the manager has to authorize the videos that you get to watch. You don't just get to go pick them and see. That's the other big trick. But it's like, I have worked there like a week, and I don't know hardly anything at all, except how to clean up in a kitchen as back house. Take trash out and boxes and wash dishes the appropriate way and stuff and put them up the appropriate way. While I have coworkers that do crazy stuff, like they have lemonade. Well, somebody knocked the cover off the lemonade into the floor. And the floor is bad, okay? It gets so bad that I'll go mop it myself because it's dangerous. It's covered in grease and everything else, food. So I'll just, take a moment to sweep some stuff up around back house, and then I'll go mop, real fast because of safety, mainly for safety. But this person, who's lit from smoking weed, this is another thing, knocks the top off the lemonade and then just bends down to pick it up and just set it back up on the counter instead of taking it to the dirty dishes. That's really scary. Another coworker, he smells the weed so bad, and he was cooking on a grill the other day, and he is so dippy. And he goes over to the ice machine. They have a big, beautiful ice machine that puts out crystal ice. Absolutely beautiful. It's probably one of the bigger ice machines that I have ever seen in any restaurant or bar. And he takes his cup that he's been drinking out of and dips it into that ice machine. And you can't do that. Ice has to be handled with a scoop, okay? You can't just dip your dirty glass you've had your lips on into the damn ice machine. Jeez. So, crazy stuff goes on, and people have always talked about hamburger joints being interesting. And I guess they kind of are. But my biggest problem is, show me how to do it, or have some instructions or something so I know what to do. I cannot read your mind. I cannot guess. It would be nice if the food was labeled, especially when it's in the little refrigerator thing, where it has big letters on the side of the plastic bag that says fish, or in a container with a label on the outside that says fish, because I don't know what all this weird stuff is. The bad thing about the burgers is, I know how to cook on a grill, okay, because I learned from real chefs just fooling around in my own restaurants, because I had 2 restaurants in my life, and I'm not a fryer person, but grill is really neat. And so grill is fun, and it's really nice when you're working on a super clean grill and you know how to run grill without trashing it all up. So one side of this grill in this place is always kind of a big circle of black stuff, and it's cooked on food. Okay, where I come from, you can tell a fine house if that grill is mirror clean. Okay, at all times. You can tell a real chef the way he works that grill, even when he's not cooking. And it's just immaculately clean. I worked places where they never use the grill brick. I'm like, you don't have a grill brick? And they're like, what's that? I'm like, you have to have a grill brick. That's how you keep that grill top polished and you keep the food from sticking to it. But you can't just grind it around. It has to go one way. Back and forth one way. Or you trash up the entire grill surface and everything sticks. So it has to be done. You don't go around in circles or anything like that. Hello, how you doing? It's good to see you. What's going on, Wade? But yeah, so this grill is not polished clean. And the left side of it has this big, like 1 foot black thing of burned in food, okay? And it's full of grease. The grease is like half-inch, quarter-inch deep. The grill is also warped, so they probably put ice on it or something to try to clean it, which is really dumb. Because the spatulas are not flat to grill surface, so they've done something dumb to it. And, or if they caught on fire, maybe they threw ice on it or something, because they don't know better. But it's warpy feeling. So I got to clean that grill. I've got fresh water, and you take the water and you pour it on that grill and it starts steaming. You take the spatula and you go back and forth very carefully, and it'll pull up the old food. Then you can start from the back and you start whooshing all that water back into the drain, and so you clean the top of the grill and the drain. Well, because all their spatulas have black bits on them and things on them and stuff. And see, when you touch the food with that, you put that on that food. And who wants to eat food that has little black things and stuff on it? They don't, because they can't identify it. I mean, you'll get somebody coming going, ooh, there's a spider on here or somewhere. Is this a bug? Because you're not keeping it clean. But apparently this doesn't bother these people. Anyway, but yeah, you're going to keep that grill real clean, and they'll catch on fire in a heartbeat. A fire in a grill will catch on fire in a heartbeat if you don't keep it clean and try to keep that grease off of there. It'll flash fire just instantly. And that's super scary, and it can burn a whole restaurant down. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. So I know a lot of this stuff from fine dining, and it's just really strange. So I cleaned up the grill and everything, and I'm cleaning up the spatulas while we're not doing anything because it's nasty. And then they'd say, okay, cook 14 of these. I said, okay, so I laid 14 down, and it's like there's no business. And so they don't tell me, what to look for or when to turn it over or anything like that. And then, a little while later, the girl says, okay, go ahead and turn all those over. Okay. Flip them all over because I know how to do that. And then she says, oh, no, you got to lay it in the middle of that black part there because it won't cook unless it's in that black part. So is part of their grill out? Is that what the deal is? That's the only section of the grill that's actually working. Now you can take a grill and you can do the temperature on it in sections. So you can have one side that's like a warming section, and then you can have one side that's hotter, and then another side that's even hotter than that, so that you know how long to cook your food and where to put it and all that goes. So But you don't want to leave food out on a grill just hanging out there for very long at all because it just keeps cooking it. Even if it's on the warmer side, it just keeps cooking it and destroys the food. And so, this girl's telling me, okay, now flip this over. Again, okay, flip it over. Okay, now move it over here to the far right. And then you move over to the far right, and we don't have any business. There's no business. Nobody's coming. And the stuff just continues to kind of bake away on the far right side. And it's just like turning into 2-inch big pieces of meat. It's cooking away. And when it's first laid on the grill, it doesn't look too bad when it's raw. But man, the more it sits on that grill, the smaller it's getting. I mean, this is really ridiculously small when it sits out like that, staying heated, and nobody's buying it. So by the time the customer's getting it, it's looking like snack size or kid size, which is sad. And it's not necessary to cook all that many like that at a time unless you've got the business. And when you don't have the business, which they lock the dining room up, so everybody has to go through drive-through. If you don't have the business, then you don't need to cook all that stuff, pre-cook it like that, because it just keeps cooking away. It just turns to trash. So anyway, the manager girl gets kind of pissed, and she goes, okay, all this meat that you cooked, and there's like 25 pieces of meat, right, that they told me to cook, and they keep telling me to cook more and put it over there. And it looks terrible, and the longer it sits there, it's going to turn black on the bottom too, because it's going to continually cook. Grills don't really warm. They're just still cooking. I don't think you can turn them down low enough to just warm, honestly. And so anyway, she says, all this stuff, it's just no good. And I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to figure out if she, is going to explain to me why it's no good. And so she's not saying anything, and I'm not saying anything, and because she's always real short about stuff, and kind of obnoxious. And so she says, we're going to take all this and put it in, like, the chili. And I'm like, okay. She's here. Pulls this top tray open above the grill, and there's a stainless pan in there. She's like, take all this meat and throw it in there. And I said, like, all the meat that's on the grill. Yep. And she was like, that's no good. And I'm like, okay. And it was all fresh meat. It was just cooked. So I put it all in there. Didn't say anything. And then she says, here's how we do it. And then she puts a bunch more meat out. She says, okay, now you cook it till it does this, Yeah. And I said, okay. And she says, and then you flip it. And then she says, okay, now you cook it till it does this, and then you flip it again. And then she says, okay, and then like you wait a minute, and then you just flip it again. I said, okay. And see, nobody shows me this, And then she says, and all that scraping you do, all that scraping you're doing to the grill, stop doing all that scraping. She's talking about where I clean the grease off the grill and the burn crap off, And she says, you leave that on there so that food can cook. We need that grease on there so that food can cook. And I'm like, ugh. So I'm like, okay. And so she takes the side where she moved all those burgers to the right side, to where they want to keep them laying there. And let me tell you what, she scoops up a bunch of grease and burned crap off that grill, out of that black side, and pours it over these hamburgers. And she says, now that's the way we do it, because we want to keep them moist. We don't want to give a customer a dry burger. I'm like, oh. And that, I wanted to puke. I'm sorry, but my dad used to take us to this restaurant. I can think of the name of it. And everybody loved to go there in Marina Del Rey. My dad called it the greasy spoon because, a lot of his friends and customers would say, hey, meet me at so and so's. And that was like the hangout. And it was like the breakfast, lunch, and dinner place. And everybody liked going there except for my dad because it was he called it the greasy spoon. I mean, and I maybe because the flatware was dirty, or maybe because all the food was just greasy, or what, I don't know. But it immediately reminded me of when my dad said the greasy spoon, because I mean, I am offended if I go. I'm not a to go person, really. I'm not. But if I go to a place for a burger or fries, this is one reason why I don't like these kind of places. Period. I don't care if it's a $50 hamburger or it's a $2 hamburger. The worst thing you can give me is a bag with grease all over the outside and grease all over the food, and like you literally, pick the burger up and you get ready to take a bite out of it, and it's wrapped in the paper and all that, and you pull the paper back a little bit, you go take a bite, and then you got 5 drops of grease right down your top. Okay? And you have to be somewhere, like at work or somewhere presentable. So now you look like a slob because their food has got grease dripping out of it. Okay? That's why fries have to be drained. That's why hamburgers shouldn't have tons of grease on them. They're supposed to be drained off. And you don't keep cooking food. It needs to be cooked fresh because you're ruining the quality of the food. There was no rush to be cooking 14 and 24 burgers and pre-cooking that and letting it just sit on that grill, you know, because they turn a little 2-inch size, literally little 2-inch size jobbers. You know what I mean? To where the bun is actually bigger than the burger because they're already small to begin with. I mean, it just looks like kiddie meals. So I don't know, but they don't teach you or show you, and they expect you to know everything. Um, and I mean, I know how to clean back house. I know how to clean a grill. I know how to cook on a grill a little bit, but not fast food. Not at all. I know nothing about it. Told them that when I started there. I have basically zero experience in fast food. Because I'm not going to say that working for Pat for 1 week is experience, because it's not. I was just dilly-dallying around as a visitor and not a real serious employee type thing, because it wasn't going to be something I would do for a living, because I made good money doing what I've always done. It was just an experience that I requested uh, to learn about the business in order to do some good constructive advertising design and billboard work for him and stuff like that, because he was like, what kind of ideas do you have? I said, well, here's my first idea. I don't understand your business. Can I come in and work it, or hang out for a few days or a week and see what you do here? And because he took so much pride in the onion rings, how they were done, and how the burgers were, 100% beef without all the fat, all these different things. And that it wasn't a grease pit. And he didn't do chicken because chicken's foul. He just couldn't stand chicken. That was not something he wanted to do business with at all. And so he took a lot of pride in his business. It just had to be to the T, you know. And so, I had ultimate respect for him, but this place that I've been working, oh my God. It's like everybody's doing their own little thing. And if anybody does take the time to try to show you something or teach you, it's going to be wrong. Because somebody else is going to step up and go, what are you doing? And it's like, well, I don't know. So-and-so showed me that this is how it's done. And they're like, okay, let me show you, this. But that's like twice I've been told that in a week. That's it. They don't show you anything. They don't tell you anything. It's like you walk in the door and they're like, here, go over here and do fries. Oh, go over here and do some drinks. No, wait, go over there and check some people out. No, wait, take this out to this car over here. No, wait, go back and do dishes. No, wait, oh, God, sweep the floor over here. No, wait, go out to the dining room. And a customer comes in that wants to, be checked out. And nobody will go up and check them out. And then they yell, why don't you come check this customer out? And it's like you're standing there, like they screamed at me to go out to the dining room and clean that, And I'm going real fast, It only takes a few minutes. But they're just, just totally psycho. And I told the owner the other day, he says, well, how are you liking it? I said, well, I feel like somebody threw me the keys to the hamburger joint and said, run it. I said, I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't know your procedure. I don't know your products. I know nothing. And I wish I knew. Because I don't. I'm just not learning anything. It's like, every 60 seconds or a couple minutes, they move me to something else. But they don't tell me what to do. They don't tell me, this is the size cups we use for this. This is the size cups we use for this. Because I get this, oh, God, don't use that cup. That's the wrong cup. Oh, no, that's the wrong size cup. And I'm like, okay, so what is the right cup? Please show me, because I don't know. I know nothing about fast food. I know nothing about their business, nothing about their product. I don't know nothing. So it's beyond me how anybody can work at that particular location. I really doubt that other ones are like that. Now, my youngest daughter did McDonald's, and I really loved her there. And she was very young. And we begged to get her in, and we slid her under the door kind of thing. Because they just don't like to hire, young kids. In the old days, I hired, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. But they're really funny with businesses today. And so we got her in. And she's very adult anyway, and very business. She's not some stupid punk that's playing on the damn phone all day long or anything like that. She's there to work and make that money. She understands what those Benjamins are all about. You know what I mean? She understands how to work for other people. Not get busted playing on the phone, wandering around, clowning around, being late, and all that stuff. She totally understands business and the value of money and being a valuable employee and being overvaluable. So whatever happens, if anything goes wrong, at least you did the best job you could and better than anybody else that worked there. That's all that matters. Okay? Because sometimes business and small business is just not fair. And it's okay. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of other jobs out there. Forget it. And so, you just did the best job you could. That's all that matters. But she worked at McDonald's and for some great people. And she really kind of liked it. And I was like, as I warned her, I said, I don't know, fast food, they say it's really bad. I'm not going to say it's the greatest job in the world. I really haven't done it. So I don't know if you'll like it, but it's up to you. But she stayed there a while, and she made some good friends working there, and management just loved her. And so it was probably a better grade of business, even though I don't think McDonald's is the greatest place in the world. That is not my kind of place. The only thing I think I would eat at McDonald's is like a egg McMuffin. I liked their mocha frappe things, but then they got so cheap with them in the past couple years. It's like they hand you this cup that's only half full of mocha frappe, and the rest of it's like covered in whipped cream if you're lucky, and if it has any at all. Because they won't even tell you when they're out of whipped cream. They just hand you half a cup of stuff. That's so bad, so improper. But anyway, I hope to God she didn't have to go through crap like this, because this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, where people will invite you to work at a business and nobody teaches you or shows you anything or explains anything to you. They just expect you to just know all this stuff like osmosis. Like when they yelled, put a fish in the fryer. And I looked at another girl and said, okay, where's the fish? It's over there. And I said, okay, I opened the door and I'm looking at all this stuff and I have no clue which one is fish. Not a clue. And I say, okay, so where is the fish in here? It's on that shelf. Okay, and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, and this is fish. Oh no, that's not it. It's on this that other shelf, I guess. And I guess and it's totally confusing. Totally confusing. And because your next problem is you don't want to grab the wrong thing, and then it gets cooked up the wrong way for the wrong amount of minutes, and then it gets put on a sandwich, and it's going to a customer, and that's not what they ordered. It would be better if I knew what the fish looked like, the shape, like where it's exactly put, so that I can get the right item, instead of waste time. But I have no clue. It's like I might as well just close my eyes and just work, because it's not going to make a difference. Because nobody's going to tell me, nobody's going to show me. So it's really confusing. And, I just don't say anything. I'm so tired of people that it's just not even worth the breath to say anything, because I just get mad. And, I bet they go through a ton of people there, because if you can't show people what to do or explain something to them, how are they going to work? I'm lucky because I know a lot of, Board of Health regulations for food and beverage. I know how cleaning goes. Oh, they had this stuff. Here's the best one. The girl told me, oh, you don't have to do all that stuff to the grill. You just spray it with that spray. I said, what spray? Okay. Now, the other day, there was cleaning spray up there next to that grill. I mean, right there in front of the cut. And I couldn't imagine there was a cleaning chemical sitting there. That should be nowhere near food. And I'm thinking today, I'm hoping to God this guy wasn't spraying the grill with that. I have a funny feeling he was. Because they had this spray can and this other stuff. Now, aerosol next to a hot grill like that, that's really dumb too. Because aerosols will blow. They cannot be exposed to heat or be crushed. It's not good. And so the girl says to me, you just take this spray and spray that. And I said, okay, so do you wait and scrape that off, or do you pour water on there to clean it up? No, you just spray it on there. And then she threw hamburgers on top of it. I would have liked to have read that can label to see what that is made out of. Because I can't imagine it's food safe. And what would you spray on a grill that says food lift? Food lift. Okay? What is that? It sounds like it's probably a chemical. But yeah. So I just couldn't believe you would spray that on there and then throw raw burger meat on top of that instantly. That is really strange. Food lift, it said. An aerosol can. I just don't know. So they're claiming that cleans the grill. Because if it cleans the grill, it's not cooking grease, obviously. To me, it sounds like a cleaner. But yeah, so it's real confusing. And, the girl that was managing today, she was like yelling at me going, you worked there 2 weeks, you should know better. No. She talk all that crap. She's like, working with you is like, I'd be better off working with 2 people. And it's like I didn't say anything. I mean, one, I haven't worked there 2 weeks. Today would be my 7th day. And no one has ever taken me and said, okay, today we're going to do grill. Let's explain to you how we do grill. Let's explain to you let's explain to you the timing and what it should look like. But no. But the only thing was that taking that grease and scooping it up on that grill and pouring it over the meat. Oh, Jesus, all the meat that was sitting there on the side, staying continuously warmed, which it's still cooking. Grilled or hot. That grossed me out. And she's like, that's how we keep it moist. You got to keep it moist, you know. So all that scraping, you don't need to be doing all that scraping on the grill. And where I come from, a greasy burger, that's like disgusting. You don't even cook greasy burger at your own house on a barbecue. You know what I mean? Who wants a greasy burger? Is anybody out there? Tell me, comment below. Do you want a greasy burger? I've never heard of such a thing. So anyway, I don't know. It's kind of messy. And I've been doing the best job I can and just figuring it would be a learning experience. It's something I never did before. But it was a job that had a whole lot of hours that they offered to me. And I really need the money. Because I've got a ton of storages to pay and stuff. Like right now, my phone is due and I don't even have the money to pay my phone. And I've got less than 24 hours. That sucker go off at midnight. And I need that for my eBay stuff. I need that for work. And so who knows? Maybe I'll just be SOL because apparently I'm supposed to get paid this week. But you guys know how that's been going in the past. That one job I didn't get my money for a month. The other job that took a few months to pay. I mean, oh my gosh. So I don't know, you guys, but have you ever worked fast food, and what did you think of it? Because it's definitely interesting. I just wish they would teach me or have some kind of direction book or something so that I could understand it and know what to do, because I have no clue. I don't have a clue, you know, and they get mad. It's like they want me to pack orders, something like, you know, why are you so slow? And you're supposed to help her pack orders. Well, would somebody please tell me how to read the board? And somebody please show me how you want it packed? And somebody please tell me that this is what I'm doing? Because I need to know. You know, I mean, I've worked bars. I worked at Candy Canyon out in the valley. And that was a discotheque bar. And it was closed in the daytime. But then it opened in the evening, and then 2 hours later was the big discotheque deal. A little tiny place in a mall. And I think it was on Woodland Hills Drive. And this place was amazing. And I was scheduled to go work that night, wear a tuxedo. And the owners were very proper, the father and son. And I mean, I knew my stuff because I had worked at hotels and country clubs and all that and fine dining. And this is no food at all. It was just drinks. And so I asked the guy that's worked there a couple years, who's real smooth talk and is real good there. And you know, I said, so are the tips pretty good here? Now their pay was real good. And he said, oh yeah, the tips are excellent. He said, I generally make close to 1,000 a night. I'm like, wow. And I said, so what's it like, you know, when the dancing thing starts? And he says, you put 1 foot here, you put 1 foot here, and all you do is pour. Bam, 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 bam. I said, really? And I laughed. Oh, no, he was real serious. And that's what you do. I mean, the whole night flies by. And this is in California. And by the time it turns, you know, 1:45, you feel like you've only worked a few hours because you're so exhausted. You have done nothing but had 2 feet glued to the floor and pour, 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 pour. And I mean, it's just horrendous business, you know. And then the two of you pull the tips. That was the sucky part. I hate pulling tips because usually you'll work with somebody who's not doing their job, and then they're going to get money when they don't even deserve it. But this guy, I mean, was pro. He was good, you know. So we both worked really, really, you know, hard for our money. But then you also have the ones that favor him or me and will, you know, pass a 20 or whatever, and it still has to be split, which is kind of unfair. But anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. But I would venture to say, you know, a hamburger joint, fast food thing is really not my thing. And maybe because I don't know much about it. But I mean, I'm trying because I need the hours and I need the money. So I'm trying to learn something new, but I wish I could learn. I wish I could learn what to do and how to do it and when to do it and all that, because nobody's showing me, and they're not letting me watch these You Learn videos. I should have been watching those You Learn videos before I even hit that kitchen. I don't understand, why they would just throw somebody back there and then nobody takes time to show you anything. And then you get yelled at like you're supposed to know all this stuff when you don't. Like I say, every house is different. So you can't come over from McDonald's and go work over there and then expect that, it's going to be all the same, because it's not. Every house will be different. So I don't know, you guys. But tell me your thoughts below. And in the meantime, I guess I'm kind of working it. I get sent off early today. I was very, very disappointed, but I didn't contest it or say anything because I'm not there to fight with anybody. And I mean, they just made me feel so stupid today, and that was not very nice. Especially when I got locked out of the building. If they're gonna send me to take food out to a car, why aren't you gonna have the door unlocked? Damn. Just lame stuff. And screaming at me, "Hey, you've been here 2 weeks. You should know better." Like I'm just fooling around. No, I haven't been here 2 weeks. Today would have been my 7th day. So I don't know, you guys. But, who knows? But I got some other lady offered me a job. I got somebody else offered me a real good job that I applied for before and really wanted me. And then, I don't know, my other little side job that I called them the other day just to be respectful and say, "You got any work for me Monday, Tuesday?" And they were like, "Yeah, they're supposed to be. I'll get back to you, no problem. So that we get, your schedule right or whatever." And I haven't heard anything. And so I don't know, but I'm trying to schedule for every single day, working every single day. My old side job, I'm still leaving 2 days open there that I had given them, for every week, just those same 2 days. We'll see if they can get anything done. Otherwise, I'm going to pick up another job for that pretty soon. And then this job, I don't know how this is going to end up. I do know that if somebody doesn't start teaching me something or teaching me the right way or something, that it's just going to be a total waste for both parties. I mean, you just don't hire somebody and not show them how you do the business and how you prepare stuff and what the food is and all that. I mean, it's not like they have a menu I can take home and read like in fine dining, where you study the menu and you know all that stuff. So I don't know. But anyway, talk to you guys later. I love you. I will see you in the next one. Do something kind for a stranger. Love everybody. And hold your breath. Don't say anything. Just hold your breath, because sometimes it's not even worth your breath to even make a comment. That's my motto. I just hold my breath. Anyway, talk to you guys later. I love you.